And welcome to Discoveries in Health. This is Berst from Good Shepherd Ministries, and this is Discoveries in Health. We talk about natural remedies. We're here every Thursday for 2 hours. We don't prescribe, we don't diagnose. So if you have a personal question, please make it hypothetical. You know, what if a person, rather than a particular person, because we don't diagnose, we don't prescribe, and we try to comply with the rules. And there's lots of rules for natural remedies. There's not a lot of rules for drugs, though. They have a medical monopoly, and they ignore natural remedies. Well, really, they don't ignore them. They really have been actively obstructing anyone from getting information about natural remedies since 1940. And so someone like me has been really hauled over the coals in order for me to do what I do, and that is teach natural remedies. So you know how to use natural remedies, you know how to, which ones to use, and etc. I don't sell products. I invented the manufacturing of 14,000 natural remedies in over 60 years, and the government objected. They said, you can't do that. You can't talk about natural remedies because you sell them. And that means we need to arrest you, put you in jail, and fine you out of existence. Well, I complied with the government because that's what Jesus Christ wants me to do. Jesus Christ said, render to Caesar what is Caesar's. And I do. We don't prescribe. We don't diagnose. We discuss natural remedies. And we discuss it in detail. And there's a lot of work, a lot of scientific work that has been done now with natural remedies, and a lot of information that people aren't allowed to say. except a federal judge. That means I get to talk about natural remedies. I still don't sell them. They told me I couldn't sell them or they would destroy me financially and put me in jail if they could. So I don't. And so I'm not selling product, and I'm not diagnosing, and I'm not prescribing. So that being said, here we are talking about natural remedies and giving you the raw truth about natural remedies. Exactly, because the information that's out there is incredible. And you need to find out about it. You need to know about a system of healthcare that is with me. That's not something that the drug industry, the pharmaceutical industry, nor the medical doctors want you to do. They want you to keep coming one more drug, and that's what they do. And they are very very hard on anyone who does what I do. But I've been doing it for 60 years, over 60 years. I'm not going to quit. There's no money in it, but I'm not doing it for the money. You didn't charge. I didn't charge anything for anyone to come into this room for them to learn about natural remedies. I begged for donations for my ministry. The ministry is Shepherd Ministries. And at the end of the month, there's nothing left, because this is not a for-profit business. Well, looks like this had, it looks like it wants to end, but I don't want it to end, and didn't say it should be. Hold on here while I, YouTube decided that I want to end it, and I don't want to end this. So I'm going to make sure that we are there, and we'll. No, we got it. No, wait a minute. We got it. No, we got it. That's what I want to do with this. Is I want to. There we go. We could do this.
My first guest tonight is very.
That's what we wanted to do. Okay, now we've got YouTube. We're live on YouTube. We're live over Zoom. We are live on Dialpad, and we're here every Thursday. The telephone number to join us here on this broadcast.
Dr. Berst.
Yes, go ahead.
Dr. Berst.
Can you hear me?
This probably like you're breaking up.
I'm breaking up. Maybe I need to come back into the room again. Either that or mute my mic for a minute. I've muted it, and I'll unmute it. Can you please tell me, am I still breaking up? Am I still breaking up? Prophet Elijah, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, but you're breaking up, going in and coming out.
Breaking up. Okay, let's go to, and this is Prophet Elijah out there in Pike Road, Alabama. His telephone number is 334 888-3. Allergy. He's also a naturopathic doctor as well. And he is here to give us an opening prayer and a closing prayer. And you've got his phone number. Prophet Elijah, please proceed.
Chapter 1, verse 23 and 24. And there was in that synagogue a man with an unclean spirit, and he cried out, saying, "Let us alone. What have we to do with thee, that Jesus of Nazareth? Praise the Most High for this glorious day that we have been given." Dr. Berst and our Prophet Elijah will expose the enemy today. We come today in the name of Jesus to cover us and our vocal cords, asking you, Most High God, to speak through our mouths and cover our minds. Let it be all of you and none of us. We bring exposure to anyone or anything that would come against the service and help this shepherd ministers, better health and herbs and word of life ministers. We bring the light of the Most High God upon their hidden works of darkness by speaking the truth. According to Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 12, demons are identified as rulers of the darkness of this world. When revelation comes concerning their work, light comes. When light comes, the darkness is dispelled. Their power is broken. We are that light that cannot be broken. You can see why demons would rather be left alone. If left alone, they can continue their evil works in the lives of countless people. As long as people are in the dark concerning Satan and his works, demons will continue to rule in the dark. It is the responsibility of the body of Christ to expose the works of darkness and set the captives free. Dr. Truman and I, Prophet Elijah, are there to do just that. So be it.
So be it. Prophet Elijah, can you tell me, sir, is my mic still breaking up?
Mine is clear.
Now it's clear. Well, we see that's why we did the right thing. We started with prayer. We started with prayer, and that's that. So thank you so much for that opening prayer. I know you're going to give us a closing prayer at the end of the broadcast. Plus, we will open up all the microphones and all praise the Most High together. But along the way, you may interject. Prophet Elijah may have some, something that he wants to say while we are progressing, which is, and that's an open-ended invitation for everyone. Everyone may along the way interject and say, I got a comment about this, or when you're done, please let's talk about this, or can you talk about that? So that's how we do this. That's how we get this information out, and we get information to you that you need to know about. Maybe it's an herb, maybe it's the latest information about the natural remedies for any health disorder. We're not prescribing, we're not diagnosing, but we're reporting and teaching and researching and discussing, and that's what we do here. So Prophet Elijah, I wanted to also invite you to give us your thoughts today. What are your thoughts today, sir?
Yes, sir. The talk today is talking about unforgiveness and giving. And we start off with Proverbs 16:1. The preparation of the heart in man and the answer of the tongue is from the Most High God. The leaves on the trees have no issues of letting go. When the time comes to release the old foliage, it knows not to resist. It knows that something newer and better is coming. So it makes room for the growth of abundance. To give is to receive. The wise in heart shall be called prudent, and the sweetness of the lips increases learning. The heart of the wise teaches his mouth, and add learning to his lips. Pleasant words are as a honeycomb, sweet to the soul and health to the bone. The word of the Most High God speaks on the subject of people who always take, and never give. Selfishness always thinking about themselves and what they can get, or they say what's in it for me, not knowing that it is more blessed to give than to receive. The Bible states that the Most High God loves a cheerful giver, and that Jesus taught it is better to give than to receive. Being able to receive a gift with gratitude is a sign of a healthy, humble spirit, which is also pleasing to the Most High God. In the book of Genesis, when the Egyptians began to be hungry, they cried out to the king for food. He ordered them to go to Joseph and do what he told them. The famine grew worse and spread over the whole country. So Joseph opened the storehouses and sold grain to the Egyptians. People came to Egypt from all over the world to buy grain from Joseph because the famine was severe everywhere. No one was given anything. They had to pay. When the finances were exhausted, then they had to sell themselves. No, I am not saying you sell yourself. This is an analogy of what was done in the time of famine. Famine is not just food. Famine means many things that you have need of. This is the greatest time to give when you have a need. Plant a seed. In Proverbs 11:24 and 25, it states that one gives freely, yet grows all the richer. Another withholds what he should give and only suffer want. Whoever brings blessings will be enriched, and the one who waters will himself be watered. We have entered into a time and season of the need to have more faith and pray than ever in our lifetime. Even though there is nothing new under the heavens, our ancestors have gone through the worst of many survived. They pulled together what little they had, and the Most High God blessed it. They bartered. They looked out for one another. They shared their resources together. We now live in a selfish society where many are saying, I take care of me and my house. You better do the same. Many do not even know who their neighbors are. These are difficult times for many. Take off the blindness. Ask the Most High God to remove the veil and scales from your eyes and the calluses from your heart. To understand, however, it has to be said. For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some covet after, they have error from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. 1 Timothy 16. Should the poor people give? This is a very pertinent question for today. Should the poor people give? They cannot afford not to give. Therefore, the answer is yes. The answer, the greater the present financial necessities, the greater need for divine health and healing, and greater is the need for giving. In the book of Acts 20:35, Jesus himself said, it is more blessed to give than to receive. Your giving benefits you, the giver. The poorer you are, the more you have a need to give. Those who do not understand giving is planting seed usually think it's wrong for the poor person to give to the Most High God, but giving is planting seed for a greater harvest, some 30-fold, some 60-fold, some 100-fold, meaning what you receive is blessed many times over, and it does not always come in the form of money, nor does it come from the one who gives it to. It should all, 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 6 to 8 says, reap, sparrow, and grit. He who sows generously, that blessing may come to someone, will also reap generously and with blessing. Let each one give as he has made up his own mind and purpose in his heart, not reluctantly or sorrowful or under compulsion. For the Most High God loves, he takes pleasure in, prize above all other things, and unwilling to abandon or do a cheerful joy prompt to do giver whose heart is in his giving. By giving, the seed is planting for a larger harvest of blessing. Nobody needs that more than a poor person. Even a person who is not poor needs a harvest of blessing. I don't know of anyone who does not want to be blessed, do you? Give, and it will be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over, will be put into your bosom. For with the same measure that you use, it will be measured back to you. Let's imagine the poor widow Jesus commended for giving all she had. She received her harvest at that very moment when she gave her last. I say again, I can say that she put a demand on the law of giving of prosperity. Luke chapter 21, verse 1 through 4 said, then he looked up and saw the rich putting their gifts in the treasury. And he saw also a certain poor widow putting in 2 mites. He said, truly I say to you that this poor widow had put in more than all. Their abundance have put in offering for the Most High God, but she out of her poverty has put in all the livelihood that she had. Faith offering and a thank offering. Since ancient times, it has been proven that those who gave on the offering to the Most High God work find that their prosperity increased by leaps and bounds until all fear poverty has disappeared. The act of giving gives your prosperity a permanent enduring basis. The ancient felt it was necessary for their priests and spiritual leaders to be lavishly prosperous, not only so that they might be free of material care, but also that they might continue sharing their work freely with their followers. That's you, the listener, today. The act of giving restores the harmony and balance in both mind and body that results in happiness as well as prosperity. When your life and body gets out of harmony, you need to give in order to restore health, balance, and abundance. This includes your healing, deliverance, and finances. And Jesus said to them, so that you tell nothing about this to anyone, but go, show yourself to the priest, and present the offering that Moses commanded for a testimony to your healing and as an evidence to the people. Matthew 8:4. You can see how consistent giving to the Father works opens the way to consistent receiving in your own work. It is a practice that is business-like, orderly, scientific, and practical. If the farmer refused to give back to the soil a certain percentage of the crops which the soil has given to him, he would have no crops. The Bible even gives instructions on the subject all alone. Do you see a man diligent and skillful in his business? He will stand before kings. He will not stand before obscure men. Since the Most High God is the source of your supply, you must do something definite and consistent to keep in touch with that rich source, provided you want to consistently prosper. He is the one who causes you to prosper. He causes you to get wealth. Throughout Hebrew history, they gave not the last to the least, but the first and the best, and thus giving made them rich. We are told to change them that are rich in this world, that they be not high-minded, not trust in uncertain riches, but in the living Most High God, who giveth us richly all things to enjoy, that they do give, and they do good, that they be rich in good work, ready to distribute willingly and communicate. Where you give is important. This is so important. People have had a psychological block against giving because well-meaning theologians have often stressed that giving would do for the church rather than what it would do for the individual. The act of giving, or giving back to the Most High God work, is not something that has been dreamed up as a means of getting money out of you. It is the universal prosperity law that has been practiced since the beginning of time as a scientific and orderly method of prospering people on a permanent basis. When you look up the great prosperity promise in the Bible, you find the wealth is the promise. The protection is also assured to give. The wealth promise. Be careful where you give your offering. It is important that you give at the point or the points where you are receiving spiritual help and guidance, inspiration. Where are you giving offerings? Many are thinking or saying out loud, I cannot see that it matters where I give. Oh, but it does matter. The answer is give offerings where you are getting help and inspiration. If you wish to prosper, it is consistent to do otherwise. Give at the point or points where you are receiving spiritual help and inspiration. This keeps you in touch with the flow of the demand and supply. When you give to dead works, you will receive dead results. Say this, giving is a way to be blessed. I know this is a touchy subject for many, but this, I think about all the money that is wasted on nothing, or all the money that is taken due to hospital bills, thieves, and thefts, high cost of living, and destitution. We waste money every day on nothing, so why not give to Discoveries in Health Ministry, which is good work for the information you receive without cost to you. What is so difficult about giving the offering? No one will come before you, the king, empty-handed. He said, you will be thrown out into outer darkness, and what little you had will be taken away from you. Procrastination is the assassination to your destination. All this was spoken in love, so be it.
All praises to the Most High. Thank you, Prophet Elijah. Thank you so much. I want to give out Prophet Elijah's telephone number again, just in case it was echoing when I did. And Prophet Elijah's telephone number is 334-868-3881. Prophet Elijah will be giving us a closing prayer at the end of the broadcast. Please don't miss it. And let's get over to the phones now. Prophet Elijah, did you have anything else to share before we do that?
No, well, let's just talk in while we talking on the program today.
I'm sorry, say that again. You were a bit low that time. I didn't hear you very well.
I'm a bit low?
You were a bit low. Let's turn your mic up.
I'm a bit low?
There, you're just perfect.
Okay, now so I'm gonna let this soak in while we're talking today, so the people had opportunity to hear this, and that's what they will begin to sow in the ministry like they never sowed before. In Jesus' name.
All praises to the Most High. Folks, we really do need donations to grow, to share what we're doing with other people, more people. More people need to hear about us, because there are so many out there suffering who never have any encouragement spiritually like they get from Prophet Elijah and this broadcast. I'm sorry, say again. Anyway, so that's why we need your donations. We need to grow. We need to help more people. Help us do that. And there is a donation button up on the website, herbalhealthreview.com. herbalhealthreview.com. That's the website that has hundreds of videos, hundreds of reports, all about the latest information about how to deal with high blood pressure, how to deal with cancer, with natural remedies. We're not saying how to cure it. We're saying how to comfort yourself. If you have cancers, or you have diabetes, high blood pressure, there are things that may comfort you, and you need to have that choice. And that's what we make sure you get. And that's why this broadcast is so valuable. And we need to get it out. We need to get this information. We need to get these natural remedies to people that are suffering, that have never heard of us. Thank you for helping us do that. It's up on the website, herbalhealthreview.com. There's a yellow donate button. Donate any amount that you can, and you can donate by PayPal or any credit card, any debit card, and that's how to donate. You can call me if you have if you want to send a check, or if you wanted to help us in some other way, or donate in some other way. Please call me. We need your donations. Thank you very much. My telephone number is 503-362-5899. My email address is Truman@herbalhealthreview.com. Truman@herbalhealthreview.com. review.com. Let's invite everyone in the room over there on Dialpad. And if you are on YouTube or Zoom, you can call us. The telephone number to call and ask us questions and talk to us while you are watching us on Zoom and YouTube. At the same time, you can call the telephone number 503-606-6064. My telephone number is 503-362-5899. 503-362-5899 is my telephone number to join this broadcast. It's 503-606-6064. And I'm looking for any microphones that might have come open. All you need to do there in the Dialpad conference room on your telephone, press your star key 2 times. If you have a question, a topic, something you would like to learn about, let's talk about it here on Discoveries in Health. I'm looking there. There are no microphones open at the moment, but anywhere along the way, if you decide you have a question, topic, or suggestion, or you want to talk about something, please press your star key 2 times on your telephone, and we'll do that. Now, where we left off last week, we got into angioedema, but we didn't get to the remedy part of it. Let's get into angioedema, and let's take a look at how it is treated. Okay, so that's what we're going to do today, is we're going to make sure that when we mention a topic, we detail it. We give you the detailed information. The detailed information about natural remedies and angioedema. Well, here's how it is treated. And this is medically reviewed by a medical doctor as well. Matter of fact, 2 of them. The one that wrote this article, and that's Heidi Moab. Let me say that again. Heidi Moawad, MD, and was medically reviewed by Corrine Savitas Happel, MD. And what we're talking about is angioedema and how it's treated. There are medical treatments that can suppress angioedema most of the time. If an allergen, which is a substance that triggers an allergy, and there's people with all kinds of allergies. And most of the time, if there's an allergen, or a substance that triggers an allergic reaction, and when it is identified, it's recommended that you avoid it. So once you know what it is, we'll try to avoid it. And once you have established the diagnosis of angioedema, your treatment depends on the cause. You might need to take regular treatment with steroids. Now we're talking medically speaking. This is what's medically available, okay? And we're reporting the latest research on angioedema. And this is what is the medical treatment. It depends on the cause. And you might need to take regular treatment with steroids if your symptoms are not the result of an avoidable allergy. If you have figured out what the allergy is, well, now we can avoid it. So once you've established the diagnosis of angioedema, your treatment depends on the cause, and you might need to take regular treatment of steroids if your symptoms are not the result of an avoidable allergy. And if you do have an allergy, you might need to carry injectable epinephrine, and that's what a doctor would give you, is injectable epinephrine, and and you'd have to carry it with you because emergencies may progress quickly before you can get medical attention. And sometimes the condition is hereditary. And in many cases, the triggers are, well, they're not identified. So here's what we're looking at. An allergic reaction might be opioids, NSAIDs, or other drugs. Might be a blood transfusion, which would cause an angioedema allergic reaction. It might be a blood transfusion. It might be lymphoma. It might be lupus. So these are some of the things you want to rule out or deal with until you don't have it. So now the home remedies and lifestyle, well, there are a number of effective lifestyle adjustments that you can make if you experience angioedema. Some of the lifestyle modifications are helpful in preventing a reaction if you have a known allergen. And some can help you become more comfortable if you have a reaction. Now you want to identify the triggers. You want to identify the triggers. If you have had recurrent episodes, especially if they are mild, it may be challenging to identify the cause of your, I'm not going to say your because it doesn't belong to you, it belongs to the devil. So it's the angioedema symptoms. Now, thinking about the different foods and the drinks and materials that you may have been in contact with can help you determine what may have caused your reaction. There are common culprits that trigger a reaction, such as seafood, especially bottom feeders like a shellfish, lobsters, shrimp. Those are very often triggers. But it is possible to have an antigen in response to a substance. I got to say this again. It's possible to have an angioedema in response to a substance that you do not know causes such a reaction in people. You'd be surprised. All of a sudden, you're allergic to something that maybe doesn't bother anybody else, or most people anyway. There are many people who have spontaneous angioedema, meaning no external trigger is associated with the episode. Just bam, they have it and they can't figure out what caused it. Now, once you identify the trigger, you can take action to avoid exposure by reading the ingredients of a pre-prepared food, and even avoiding foods if you cannot figure out how they were prepared. If you're getting something you really don't know what the ingredients are, you want to change that. You want to know what the ingredients are. You want to see what's on the package. Medication awareness. Be sure and tell your healthcare provider if you experience angioedema in response to a medication. And angiotensin converting enzyme, which is called ACE. Inhibitors are among the medications that commonly cause episodes of angioedema. These medications are used for treatment of heart problems, such as high blood pressure and heart failure. You want to, let's talk about maintaining comfort during an episode of angioedema. Maintaining comfort during episodes of angioedema, especially if the swelling is very localized or if there is associated pain or burning. If you have swelling throughout your body, you might consider a cold bath or shower as a way to relieve the discomfort. Be sure not to spend more than a few minutes in cold water. You don't want to stand in cold water more than a few minutes. Now, over-the-counter therapies, if you have recurrent angioedema that does not advance to become severe, you might respond well to over-the-counter medications. If one of these medications has worked for you in the past, it is a good idea to have it handy in case your symptoms recur. Oral antihistamines. Oral antihistamines, such as diphenhydramine, Benadryl, hydroxyzine, Visitril, cetirizine, and Zyrtec, are often helpful in managing and preventing episodes of angioedema. They work by blocking histamine, which can cause some episodes of angioedema. These medications are taken orally. You should only use them if your healthcare provider has already evaluated your signs and symptoms and has told you that is a good option. Okay. Now, you want to use medications according to you want to use those medications according to the package instructions and get medical attention if you begin to feel worse, or if you have trouble breathing, or if you feel faint. If you experience side effects such as sleepiness and drowsiness, ask your doctor if you should switch to another antihistamine that you can tolerate. In general, non-sedating antihistamines like cetirizine are preferred over sedating versions like diphenhydramine and hydroxyzine. Prescriptions, you might need prescription medications. If you have recurrent angioedema, or if your symptoms are severe. Antihistamines. Your doctor may prescribe prescription strength antihistamines such as cyproheptadine, which is also called puractin, and desloratadine. That's desloratadine, also called Clarinex. Now, intravenous IV steroids, your medical team may consider giving you an IV that's intravenous steroids if you cannot swallow, or if you need a faster effect than what is expected with oral steroids. They may give you an IV. Epinephrine. Epinephrine is a powerful medication that suppresses the immune system more quickly than steroids and antihistamines. It is used as an injection when you have a severe sudden reaction and when you are prone to respiratory difficulties or heart involvement. Your healthcare provider may recommend that you keep an EpiPen with you at all times so that you can inject yourself or have someone inject you if you begin to have a dangerous reaction. They will teach you or your family member how to do this. Specialist-driven procedures in general. You should not need surgery or special procedures for treatment of angioedema. However, there are rare circumstances in which you could need special procedures if your breathing is affected. Tracheotomy. If your tongue or throat becomes extremely swollen, you might need to have a life-saving procedure called a tracheostomy. This is a tracheostomy. This is a procedure in which a hole is placed in the neck and the windpipe, and a tube is placed in the hole so that air can get to your lungs. This hole will be surgically repaired after you recover. That's a tracheotomy. A respiratory involvement. One time I was in a car, oh man, 30 years ago, and I was in North Carolina, and I was with a medical doctor, and we were on our way to go to a restaurant, and his wife had an asthmatic attack and couldn't breathe, and he was about ready to do a tracheotomy. And I just happened to have an herbal formulation with me that was for allergies, and so I said, here, try this before you do the tracheotomy. And so he gave her a squirt of that, and we kept driving. We were on our way to the hospital. And before we got to the hospital, the herbs worked and cleared up the allergic reaction. And she didn't need a tracheotomy. And you never heard two people thank me so much. And when we got to the hospital, we turned around and went back to the restaurant because she was just fine. It was over with. But anyway, that was just one time I remember back 30 years ago. I've had all these things happen to me. Now, so there might be a need for mechanical ventilation. Mechanical ventilation, if you experience respiratory difficulties or respiratory arrest, you may need mechanical ventilation that provides the pressure needed to move the air in and out of your lungs as you recover. That's mechanical ventilation. The respiratory involvement is a different problem from airway obstruction. See that? A respiratory involvement is different. It's a different problem from an airway obstruction, which is caused by physical swelling of the tongue or throat. Severe respiratory difficulties are the consequence of inflammatory, it's an inflammatory effect of angioedema on the lungs and the bronchi. Complementary medicine, you might come across advice to use complementary treatments for angioedema, but it is important for you to know that they may not be effective, and if they're not the right natural remedies, they could be unsafe at that time. So you want to really have a skilled practitioner who will hand you the right bottle of natural remedies for it to be safe. But since this was written by an MD, they vilify the natural remedies. And here's what they say: that you might come across advice to use complementary treatments for angioedema, but it is important for you to know that they are not effective, and they may not be, and they may be unsafe. And that's what MDs do. They vilify natural remedies when the people that are being rushed to the hospitals are having a drug reaction, they're not having an herb reaction, but yet they vilify natural remedies, and they do it all the time. Vitamins have been recommended for the prevention and treatment of angioedema, but the doctors, medical doctors, what they say about it, it doesn't have any evidence. It's really not even worth trying, according to the medical doctors here that are involved in this report. Vitamins and natural remedies, really, it's no big deal. Don't even bother, according to them, because that's how they think in general. Not every medical doctor is it vilifies natural remedies. Not everyone. There's some that don't, but most do, and the entire system does. And I've got an open microphone. Let's go see what's going on here with this open microphone over here in the room. Let's go up to the top here. I'm looking for the open microphone, and I see it over there in New York. New York, yes, go ahead. In New York, go
Hi,
ahead.
Dr. Berst.
Hi.
What would be the number that you would suggest to someone who may be an allergic person, the spray, that number that you're talking about, instead of reaching for Benadryl or something?
Instead of reaching for Benadryl, well,
right, the spray that you referred to that saved that lady.
Okay, let's get back. So we're okay. In just a moment, I'm going to refer to that, and I'm going to refer to it. And we're gonna talk about allergies and remedies for allergies after we do this. Okay, that's a good idea. Thank you in New York for suggesting that. Just as soon as we finish this, we will give you the natural remedies that may be helpful, and I will not vilify them. Oh, by the way, this report also talks about oatmeal, because oatmeal, they're saying that oatmeal, soothing treatments applied to the skin, such as oatmeal, are sometimes recommended for the rash and itchiness of angioedema. And we'll be talking about rash and itchiness also when we'll talk about some of those remedies, okay? And in general, soothing your skin does not diminish the hyperactive immune activity of angioedema. In other words, it's going to continue to itch, and it's going to continue to get red, and the medical doctors have nothing to help you, is what they're saying. Now, maybe they got a really powerful drug that would harm you, and sometimes they do that. They give you a drug that they themselves wouldn't take, but it's it's so powerful it overwhelms your immune system. You come down with something else, etc., etc. They cause a lot of their own work. Now, milk baths. As with oatmeal, there's no specific evidence that milk baths actually relieve the inflammation of angioedema. In other words, according to the MDs, there's nothing you can do but suffer. And that's just a lie. I'm sorry, that's just a lie. So what is angioedema? Angioedema is a swelling of the deeper layers of the skin or mucous membranes. In many, it affects the lips, the cheeks, the eyelids, and the limbs, but can also occur in the genital area, the gut, the larynx, the voice box. Unlike hives, which is urticaria, which affects the outermost layer of the skin, the angioedema affects the deeper tissues and is frequently accompanied by hives. Okay, so what causes angioedema? Angioedema can be caused by an allergy that can also be the result of non-allergic drug hypersensitivity, autoimmunity diseases like lymphoma, or a genetic disorder called hereditary C1 inhibitor deficiency. Some people can even develop spontaneous episodes that can occur without an external trigger or known genetic disease. Common triggers for angioedema include food allergies, ACE inhibitors, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, NSAIDs, causing an angioedema reaction, pollen and other airborne allergens, stress. Let's get back over to this. Okay, vitamins, oatmeal, milk baths. What is angioedema? What causes it? And what are the food triggers? There we are. Had to catch up to myself over here. It could even be insect bites. It can be stress. Oh, and we've got plenty of stress, and they're heaping more on us all the time. Now they're telling us the food supply is going to be stressed out. So get used to food. Having food lines and food allocations and all that kind of stuff. That's what they're dreaming up now that they're going to do for us. That's our keepers are going to do that. This is pathetic. But stress caused by people who are in charge who can't do their job. Stress in all its different ways. Insect bites, sun exposure can cause it. Sudden change in temperature, extreme vibrations, vigorous exercise, wearing tight clothing, high altitudes, all can cause angioedema. So what are the signs and the symptoms of angioedema? Okay, signs and the symptoms. Well, the signs and the symptoms of angioedema can differ. They can be different based on which tissues are affected. Whether it's the skin, you might get a welt, like swelling of tissues with redness and warmth and sometimes pain. Could be gastrointestinal. Gastrointestinal could be abdominal pain, sometimes with nausea and vomiting. And it could be the larynx, throat tightness, voice changes, difficulty in breathing, which may be life-threatening. And then they want you to wear a mask. And if you don't wear a mask, which restricts your breathing even more, then they want to harass you, intimidate you, put you in jail, take you away from your family, take your family away from you, et cetera, et cetera. What's wrong with this picture? Anyway, how long does this angioedema last? How long does it last? The duration of symptoms can range from a few hours to a few days, depending on the severity and underlying cause. So how is angioedema treated? Well, mild cases may not need treatment. If treatment is needed, over-the-counter or prescription antihistamines are usually helpful. Severe cases may benefit from corticosteroids like prednisone. Now, what prednisone does, and they don't tell you this, but what prednisone does, it begins eating you alive. People on prednisone, that's the strongest antibiotic they have, and it eats you alive until they can't give it to you anymore, and then you just have to suffer and die. What's wrong with that picture? Many cases of anaphylaxis, injected epinephrine can rapidly reduce the effects for patients with hereditary angioedema, or other acute treatments can be prescribed to target the C1 inhibitor deficiency during severe attacks. That's it. That's what medical science knows about angioedema. All they really know is how to vilify natural remedies that they don't know how to use and wouldn't use them if they did know how to use them in most cases, because most doctors are just into vilifying natural remedies, and some are not, and some just don't care. Let's look at what can be done we'll go into the website herbalhealthreview.com. Now that we're on the website herbalhealthreview.com, we click on common conditions. So we're over here on the website herbalhealthreview.com, clicked on common conditions, and then we're going down in common conditions to A for allergies. Let's click on allergies. Okay, now we're over here on common conditions on the herbalhealthreview.com website, and we click on allergies, and we get what can be done without vilifying it. And when we're talking about allergies plague millions of people. And many only get marginal relief from drugs, which can also have frustrating side effects. Okay? Yeah. And they admit it. And natural remedies, however, often have fewer side effects, if any at all, and can combat allergic reactions to plants such as the notorious pollen and ragweed. A few minor lifestyle changes can go a long way towards keeping symptoms under control. You want to avoid using window fans to cool a room because they can pull the pollens indoor. So you want to put a fan in front of the window and suck all the pollens into your house. You don't want to do that if you're allergic to pollens. You want to keep windows closed when driving, using the air conditioner if necessary to avoid allergens. You want to limit your time outdoors when ragweed pollen counts are highest, from mid-August until the first frost. Here are some natural remedies. There is a gland rejuvenator. A gland rejuvenator, which whenever you click on any of the herbs, when it says gland rejuvenator, I'm going to click on it. I did. I clicked on it and it jumped all over the place. Okay, let's get back over into the report. I don't know why it did that, but it did. So let's just go back to allergies, click on allergies, and come over here and click on gland rejuvenator, open the link in a separate tab. So we're gonna click on this gland rejuvenator. Let's take a look at it. This is one of the remedies. And open link in a new tab. So now we're looking at the product. And remember, I invented this product, but I don't sell it. I don't make any money from the sale of it. I invented 14,000 natural remedies in over 60 years. This is one of them, and we'll talk about some more of them here that I invented and get nothing from because the government objected. They said anybody who invents these natural remedies cannot sell them. If they do, and if they tell people what they're good for, they should be jailed, they should be imprisoned, and they should lose everything. We should find them out of existence. So I thank the FDA attorney who called me from Washington, D.C. and told that to me. I thanked him for that and told him I'd call him back. Well, I didn't call him back. I sued the FDA. Anyway, that's a long story. It wound up that they are not allowed to bother me. That's what the chief federal judge of the Western United States said. Leave Dr. Berst alone. Do not bother him. He doesn't own anything. You told him that he couldn't own anything and own an herb company. He couldn't do that. He couldn't help people. So I don't earn. So that's what I gave up. I gave up my house, my car. I couldn't make the payments. I gave up everything. And I don't own anything. And I can talk about my natural remedies and they can't do anything about it. Do you imagine how frustrating that is to evil people when they can't attack you anymore? Oh, believe me, they find other ways. And they did. But anyway, gland rejuvenator. Let's take a look at the gland rejuvenator. What is the gland rejuvenator? What does it do? What it does, this gland rejuvenator is a group of herbs that help, they regulate the lymphatic system. They stimulate and strengthen the spleen and the pancreas. It stimulates the thyroid, it balances the endocrine system, and it helps to keep the heart in proper function. It helps to eliminate toxins. That's what the gland rejuvenator does. And that's what the government does not want you to find out. And then here it is. It's up on this website. And there's the product I invented that I get nothing from. and we're looking at the gland rejuvenator. And when you look at the formulation of herbs, it's a massive, it was a massive balancing act at the same time to balance all of the glandular system at the same time. And that's how it's done. You don't let, it's kind of like you got a car with 4 flat tires. You can't just fix one. You got a gland that's out of not operating, like the thyroid or pituitary glands. If they're not operating properly and they're out of balance, you got to help all the glands and the heart all at the same time. Then it works. It's the nutrition. It's the nutrition in the plants that balances out. Nature does it. Not anything that a medical doctor can understand. At least one that vilifies natural remedies. Maybe a medical doctor who understands that natural remedies have a value. I mean, they had a value since the beginning of time, and time did not run out in 1940 when the medical monopoly became a monopoly and had their own agency in the federal government, which is well, you know what that means. They're working together, and that's why we're being forced to get the jab, because the government's in the pharmaceutical business, and they shouldn't be, but they are. We got to fix a lot of things. So many broken things that need to be fixed, and they aren't being fixed. Instead, we have people haggling over who's the most powerful, rather than who can help America the most. It's give me a donation so that I can be more powerful than the other people. Crazy. It's crazy, and they're all begging for donations, and they all got more money than we'll ever have. That's crazy. Anyway, that's what it is. It's this magnificent formulation of herbs that works against allergic problems that are caused by weak glands, which is a cause of angioedema. So that's one of the remedies. Let's go back and take a look at the next formulation, which was the formulation that I handed to the lady in the back seat of the car when the medical doctor was driving and speeding to get to the hospital because she was having an asthmatic allergic reaction. And the formulation that I gave her was called Allergies Relief. Let's click on Allergies Relief. But what it does, the Allergies Relief is a combination of herbs to help fight allergies. It includes bayberry, echinacea, wild cherry bark, yarrow, golden seal root, and cayenne. And it has a number. It's a number. Come on, give me the number. Like, doesn't want to give me the number. Okay, why not? Well, because it's too tall. Well, let's do it this way then. If it won't give me the number that way, let's open it in. Let's give you what the number is for the allergy formula. The gland formula, by the way, is number 1196. It has a number. It's number 1196 for the gland rejuvenator. I have people that once I invented that formulation about 30 years ago, people tell me it's the greatest thing they ever found. But they say that about a lot of different formulations. So now the allergies relief formula could not be called allergies relief, because they said then people will know what it's good for. And the pharmaceutical industry will not tolerate any competition. If anybody's competing with them with a natural remedy, they have them arrested. What's wrong with that picture? So this formulation that I gave this lady in North Carolina 30 years ago is formula number 1012, and it's called seasonal change. That's it. All you know, it's seasonal change. That's all the government will allow you to know. And the fact that it has these herbs in it, they allow you to know that it has those bayberry bark, echinacea root, wild cherry bark, yarrow flower, golden seal root, and cayenne in structured water, which means it's alkaline water and 20% alcohol. And for those who are allergic to alcohol, it's available as a vegetable glyceride. So you don't have to, so you can order it in alcohol or non-alcohol. So when they said, Truman, you cannot call number 1012, you cannot call it allergies relief. We would have to put you in jail, arrest you, fine you. So I changed it. I changed it from allergies relief. It was changed to the name ALLRGSRLF. I just kind of abbreviated all the letters. ALLRGSRLF, kind of like a. But they said no, you can't do that. They'll figure out what it's good for. So I said, okay. Like I always say, okay, because you can't say un-okay to the FDA. Because they lock your door and they're mean to you. So couldn't call it allergies relief. Couldn't call it ALLRGSRLF. It finally, at least it got a name. There's some of them don't even have a name. They're only a number. So nobody could possibly find out what they're good for. Like the 1084 cancer formula. Nobody can, it's number 1084. Because I called it all kinds of things that would suggest that maybe it could be used to comfort someone with, not heal, not even, not prescribe or diagnose, that would comfort them. But you're not allowed to comfort people with cancer. They're not supposed to know that there are any herbs that could be valuable or comfort them or even relieve them of cancer. And historically, there are some that say they do that. If you look them up, you'll find that there are herbs, when you look them up, that it says this is for cancer. That's right. But I can't say that. I can't teach that. So they say. But anyway, so there it is. There is the allergies formulation, which has now got a name called seasonal change. And that works for allergies. Then what if somebody has hay fever with maybe they have hay fever. So here is a hay fever formulation. And the hay fever formula is number 1231. And that helps when there's hay fever, runny eyes, runny nose. And then one of the things you want to find out if there are allergies, that the normal healthy colon contains friendly bacteria. about 85% lactobacillus, and about 15% coliform bacteria, which are the friendly bacteria that make you, that break things down and make you feel good. But many people don't have that kind of a healthy, normal balance. It is the friendly bacteria flora, that's found in yogurt, but don't try to get it out of yogurt. That's a useless way to get it. Besides, it's dairy, and dairy would be contraindicated. It would be something you wouldn't really want. If you had allergies, you don't want dairy. You don't want to consume dairy. But the only dairy you want to consume anyway is butter. Butter is good for you. But anyway, it's the type of flora that there isn't enough in yogurt, but it's in yogurt. So yogurt is selling the heck out of yogurt, and it's really not good for you, but it's got a little bit of bacteria flora in there. And what you really want is a product that has at least 20 billion strength and many different sources of bacteria with a strength of at least 20 billion. And you would, if one every morning does the job, great. If not, try one in the morning, one in the evening. And if that isn't, and if that doesn't help your allergies, maybe go 3 times a day. And if you're on a probiotic that's at least 20 billion in strength, and you're taking 1 3 times a day, you should not have athlete's foot, vaginitis, any kind of a fungal or bacterial infection. And if you do, you need to call a good herbalist. My telephone number is 503-362-5899. Now, I need some water. Gotta keep drinking that water. Now, this friendly bacteria is essential for the digestive system. Everyone should be at least taking, even if you have no symptoms of anything, to stay healthy, you want 1 probiotic every morning to make certain that you have a powerful digestive system. When these bacteria are not in balance, then the person may experience bloating, flatulence, constipation, malabsorption of nutrients, all of which can lead to a disease called Candida albicans. And there's a whole report all about how to get over Candida. Acidophilus, taken as a dietary supplement, may help to detoxify and to rebuild a balanced intestinal flora. It is used to defend against Candida. Acidophilus, these bacteria, the friendly bacteria, aid the digestion and help to replace the friendly intestinal flora, which is essential to good health. Without it, if you don't have a good friendly intestinal flora in your stomach, you will suffer. There's bloating, flatulence, constipation, malabsorption of nutrients. You may be eating something, but you're not getting the nutrients. It's not able to help you to digest it. The other thing that you need to know about when there's allergies is calcium and magnesium is crucial, and vitamin D. These are the bone building nutrients: calcium, magnesium, and vitamin D. And you're going to find that people with angioedema, more than likely are deficient in calcium, magnesium, and vitamin D. So you want at least 600 milligrams of calcium citrate and at least 400 to 1200 milligrams of magnesium. And vitamin D, the secret to vitamin D, and the study I read said it slashes the risk of cancer by 77%. That's how powerful it is on the immune system. You want a powerful immune system that does not have allergies, you need 50,000 IUs of vitamin D for 15 days, once a day. 50,000 IUs of vitamin D3 one time a day for 15 days. On the 16th day, drop it back to 10,000 per day. And the beginning of spring, the beginning of fall, you do it again. Every 6 months, you give yourself a vitamin D3 boost. And especially people who do not get out in the sun. I know some kids that haven't seen the sunshine. They've seen their bedroom, they've seen their cell phone, and that's about it. They might go outside and get in a car and go somewhere and get in a car and come back and stay inside and never get out in the sun. It's not going to work. We need sunlight. And even if you're getting sunlight, and especially if you have dark colored skin, you need a lot of vitamin D. So do the 50,000 for 15 days, once a day, then 10,000 each day thereafter, and you will see incredible things. Make sure you're getting that 600 milligrams of calcium before bed, and make sure you're getting at least 400 to 800 milligrams of magnesium before bed, and maybe another 400 in the morning of magnesium. It depends. Magnesium will relax every muscle in your body, and over 90% of the population in America is vitamin D deficient, magnesium deficient, and calcium deficient. They don't have enough. They need it. Please take your calcium and magnesium and vitamin D and make it in a citrate. And you're going to know when you get enough magnesium because it's going to relax every muscle in your body. It will get rid of cramping. Anybody who have cramps, take magnesium. And then you take enough of it where you're keeping your bowel movements very soft. And because it will do that. It will help get rid of constipation. Magnesium relaxes every muscle in your body. Make sure you're taking yours. Now there's something that I need to get back on because I get on things and then I get off of them, and I've been off of my MSM too long. I need to get back on it because MSM stands for methyl sulfonyl methanol, and what that is sulfur, natural sulfur, like the sulfur that's in garlic, but you could get it in a powder form. And when you're taking MSM what it helps to do is it rejuvenates your joints and body cells, and it lessens the pain and stiffness of arthritis, and it boosts your energy level, and it stops you from wrinkling. So when you get to be in your 60s, 70s, 80s, you don't wrinkle all up, because I'm over 80 and I'm not all wrinkled all up. MSM, I used to take a teaspoon 3 times a day, and I got to get back into it. And you don't want to start with a teaspoon 3 times a day because it'll detox you. And you don't want to detox too quickly. So you start the first week, every day, take 1 teaspoon daily. Second week, take 2 teaspoons daily. third week, take 3 teaspoons daily. Now you're up to 3 teaspoons. That's the dose that will keep you younger, longer, rejuvenate the joints and the bodies on your body cells, keep you from wrinkling, keep your skin smooth, and get rid of the stiffness of arthritis. I used to have horrible arthritis, but I did a couple of things. MSM was one of them. I got to get back on it again. So these are things that you can do to fight allergies as well. Then there's bee pollen, and the bee pollen that you want is you want local bee pollen. Then the bees are collecting the pollens in your area. You want that bee pollen, and if you've never taken bee pollen before, you take one little bee pollen granule. One. You kind of mush it up a little bit, put a little bit on a spoon, and you take a little bit of that. And if you get no allergic reaction, you can move to 2 little granules, then 3, then 4, until you finally got a whole teaspoon of bee pollen granules from your location. And what it does is it inoculates you against pollen allergies. And bee pollen is a superfood. It's a superfood which has the greatest, largest amounts of protein and other nutrients more than any other substance on Earth. You want to talk about super fuel? Bee pollen. Don't start with a teaspoon or a tablespoon unless you have done it before. Start with a little bit, make sure that you increase it very slowly. And you can mix these bee pollen granules. You can mix them with nectar of some of the bee's own. It's mixed with the bee's own secretions, and you can that they take from their hives. You see, there's bee propolis that they smear around the inside of a beehive, so that if a fly or something gets into their beehive, it gets wrapped up in the propolis, and it cannot infect anything in the hive. Propolis barrier is a barrier against all diseases known to man. It's great for sore throats, bee propolis, because it's a natural antibiotic. Bee pollen contains much more protein per ounce than any other natural food, and is the only food that contains all 22 amino acids of the human body. Bee pollen is considered by some to be the most perfect food on Earth in terms of its complete range of nutrients. It is used to build stamina and endurance, and as support during any weight loss program. It is considered, bee pollen, to be an allergy breaker. Start by taking the small amount, like I said, and increase it and until your allergies are broken. And the other possible uses of bee pollen include for exhaustion, hay fever, high blood pressure, nervousness, endocrine glandular imbalances. Bee pollen is high in aspartic acid and is 35% protein. It's best to take bee pollen in the morning and or early afternoon. so that you're all energized up when you're trying to go to bed. You don't want to energize up before you go to bed. You want to take it in the morning or early afternoon so that the body is energized throughout the day and able to then shut down and rest during the night. If you're using bee pollen along with weight loss program, take prior to meals. Before meal, take some bee pollen. If using to build stamina and endurance so you can run races and that type of thing, you want to take prior and during the event. So you want to take some before the event, and you want to take some while you're, when you're at a pit stop and you're drinking some water, more bee pollen. Get it as a bee pollen liquid, a liquid bee pollen. Very easy to take. Start again with 1 granule in a drop it in a glass of water for sensitive people, and increase to as much as 1 to 2 tablespoons daily as needed to remove the appetite and add stamina. That's it for bee pollen. Incredible food, bee pollen. Grapefruit seed extract for allergies. The reason why is because grapefruit seed, citrus paradise, works against viruses, bacteria, fungi, molds, parasites, E. coli, strep throat, staph, salmonella. It fights off all these disease-causing germs. And internally, the concentrate of grapefruit seed extract is useful for a wide variety of ailments, including candida infections. That's when someone has had way too much sugar and they're living on sugar and they got foot infections, vaginal infections, yeast infections, fungus infections. Candida, that's candida. And candida, you could also have sore throats, an intestinal upset, and it may, the grapefruit seed extract may also be used to purify drinking water when camping or traveling. If you're not sure if the water has any kind of germs in it, any kind of bacteria, fungus, virus, grapefruit seed extract. Whenever I travel, I have a little 1 ounce or 2 ounce bottle of grapefruit seed extract. So when I get to the country, if I'm not used to their bacteria, I drop a drop or 2 into the water in each glass, or maybe three drops in a gallon of water when and that's it. So it's a disinfectant. It purifies drinking water when camping or traveling in foreign countries. It may be used as a surface disinfectant in place of commonly used cleaners like bleach, stronger than bleach, or ammonia-based products, stronger than them too. Grapefruit seed extract, really great. Always carry at least a 1 ounce, 2 ounce bottle in your suitcase when you travel. Cysteine, the amino acid, L-cysteine, we use that for allergies because we use it for respiratory illness and for immunity, cell growth. If there's any kind of an illness or immunity or cell growth problem, L-cysteine, L-cysteine, L-cysteine. This amino acid is essential for the formation of skin and hair. So anybody who's trying to increase their hair growth, you want the amino acid L-cysteine. It increases hair growth. It promotes recovery from surgical operations and burns. It's used for respiratory disorders such as chronic bronchitis. It stimulates white blood cell activity in the immune system. So if you want to stimulate white blood cell activity, if you want better hair, if you want to get rid of chronic bronchitis, or any other respiratory disorder, the amino acid L-cysteine may be what you're looking for. It's an amino acid, which means it's a protein broken down until it becomes an amino acid. That's what protein does. It breaks down in your body. You want a good multiple vitamin, and just ask for a good either liquid or a tablet. You want a high strength. You want the maximum strength of multiple vitamin liquid or capsule that you can get. And you want vitamin C. Secret of vitamin C, you want 3,000 milligram per day to stay healthy. If you want super health, or if you want tissue repair, you want if you want to increase your immune system, then you want more than 3,000. You want 3,000 in the morning and 3,000 at night. Now, the father of vitamin C used to take 14,000 a day, lived to be Linus Pauling, lived to be about 96 years old, taking 14,000 milligrams of vitamin C daily, spreading the dosage out so that he's, getting about 6,000 3 times a day. But for good maintenance and tissue repair, 3,000 twice a day. To keep a chimpanzee alive in a zoo, they have to give it 3,000 milligrams of vitamin C. They got to make sure that chimpanzee gets 3,000 milligrams of vitamin C or it gets sick. So they give it more. They give it 3,000 to 6,000. Humans should take 3,000 to 6,000 of vitamin C. Quercetin is another super vitamin. Quercetin is the vitamin, has a strong safety record and can be very helpful with allergy symptoms. It does take 7 to 14 days to reach full effect, quercetin. And you'll often find quercetin and stinging nettles together, because the stinging nettles have known effects on inflammation and have been studied for sinus problems. Their safety record is also good. And stinging nettles, the liquid tincture extract, works well with quercetin. They complement each other. That's why you're going to see quercetin and stinging nettles together very often. And if not, pair them up anyway. Get a bottle of quercetin and a bottle of stinging nettle, a tincture extract. And then the quercetin will be a tablet. The stinging nettles will be the tincture extract. Turmeric is another allergy fighter. And the reason why is because turmeric, also called curcumin, is an herbal supplement, is an herb that's taken from curry. That's why curry with turmeric is all over Egypt. You can't go anywhere in Egypt, you can't get curry. And the reason why is because when they were building those pyramids, they ate a lot of turmeric, which is a very potent anti-inflammation fighter. And also chronic sinus inflammation. So it eases congestion. It's anti-inflammatory. Turmeric crosses the blood-brain barrier and reduces inflammation in the brain, if anybody's got a brain tumor. Turmeric has also been used for breast cancer. Turmeric. And then there's Panax ginseng for allergy, because Panax ginseng, 15 to 30 drops under the tongue, and the licorice root, you combine the two together. Wow, you got a stimulant there. That is, you can, that and the pansing, the Panax ginseng, the licorice root, and the bee pollen, then run a race, because that will help you to run a race. Anyway, Panax ginseng, licorice root, bee pollen, those kind of herbs provide great support for the adrenal glands. And so if you see these people who are doing these long races, their adrenal glands become exhausted and they can't do it anymore. And they get old. These runners, these racers, they get old. Their adrenal glands get too weak. They can't run any more races. But when you feed it Panax ginseng, licorice root, and bee pollen, then you could still run a few more races. And you need to take it while you're running the race to replenish, so the adrenal gland can keep up with the demand that's placed on it. So if you're any kind of an athlete and you want to be a super athlete, Panax ginseng, licorice root, and bee pollen. Incredible. It also has a history of working with high blood pressure. So they, it can be, and it relieves stamina. You got the stamina, and it relieves the symptoms of brain fog. Panax ginseng, licorice root, bee pollen. Now, then there's a sinus and lung congestion formula that's great for allergies because it helps clear the lungs. And I think it has a different number now. I think it's our name, because they said you can't say sinus, you can't say lung congestion. People will know what it's good for. The FDA does not want you to know what it's good for. And then, it offends the MDs. And we don't want to offend the pharmaceutical industry or the MDs that are evil and don't want you to know that there are things that can help you, because there are evil ones and there's good ones. Just like in everything, there's evil herbalists and good herbalists. Because there are a lot more evil medical doctors, I think. Anyway, a sinus lung congestion formulation. See, now we're really getting into this vitamin C, quercetin, turmeric, B complex. B complex, we didn't mention it, but because B complex, that's the stress vitamins. If you got any stress at all, B complex, at least twice a day, morning and night. And if you're really stressed out and got a stressful lifestyle, 3 times a day, B complex capsule, pop a B complex capsule 3 times a day, because it supports the adrenal glands that get exhausted. They're tired. They need to keep fueled. The fuel is B complex. Excessive B complex can aggravate the sinuses. So if you're getting too much B complex, then you got a sinus infection, back off on the B complex, because that's aggravating it. So you don't want to do more than 1 or 2 capsules a day. Try to stay with that, because you can reach a sensitivity with B complex, and it can aggravate the sinuses. So stay with 100 milligrams in the morning and 100 milligrams in the evening should be sufficient. Okay, now we talked about that sinus and lung congestion formula, because there's a sinus congestion formula that's used for allergies, bronchitis, congestion, lung problems, pleurisy, pneumonia, quinsy, respiratory problems, sinusitis, and hoarseness. And what is in that formula, sinus and lung, and what is the present actual name of it? What could it possibly be? Let's take a look. So we're bringing that up. We're bringing that sinus and lung formula up. Let's take a look at that, because there's a lot of people out there with sinus lung congestion. Guess what? It's not allowed to have a name because we can't call it what it is. We cannot call it sinus and lung congestion because you might figure out what it may be good for. So you'll see when you order that formula, it's going to be formula number 1390. Thank you to the federal government. Number 1390 for a sinus and lung formula, if that is the allergic type of reaction you're having. You want to, no, by the way, if there's pneumonia, evil people don't want you to find out that if you put colloidal silver water into a nebulizer and put that colloidal silver water into the air and breathed it all night long and all day long, within 72 hours, pneumonia is gone. That's one of the things that some people do not want you to find out, is that colloidal silver water has so many uses. One of the greatest things you could possibly do for yourself or your family, if you do not have a colloidal silver water generator, then you should get one. That way you'll always have all the colloidal silver water that you want, because it's the best thing you can use for the eyes, the ears, the nose, the mouth, the teeth, the gums. Colloidal silver water will get rid of any infection. Even abscessed tooth will clear up when you find out. And if you put it on a burn, the burn pain will go away immediately. And if you leave a wet cloth on a burn for 4 hours or more, at 4 hours, you can take it off and there's no more pain. If you take it off and there's still pain up to 4 hours, you take it off and there's still burn pain. You put the wet colloidal silver water cloth back on the burn. But after 4 hours, there is no pain. You can forget you were burned. Even if it's an ugly burn, that's all ugly, because I did that. And that's how it worked. Colloidal silver water, when you drink it, it's anti-inflammatory, gets rid of infection. You want to know about colloidal silver water. You want to know about it. I got too many letters in there. But colloidal silver water. You can buy the water, or you can get the kit, the generator that makes the water. Now, a quart, 32 ounces of colloidal silver water that you would want to sip on if you had any kind of allergy, infection, lung infection. You want to sip on colloidal silver water until it's gone, till the infection is gone. You want to breathe it for 72 hours and pneumonia is gone. You want to put it on a burn. You want to put it in the eyes for any eye infection, in the ears for any ear infection, in the nose for any sinus infection or nose infection, in the mouth for any gums or teeth infection. It does it. It works. And that's why they don't want you to find out about colloidal silver water either. But make it yourself, because you can make it for pennies. You can buy it for $60 a quart. You can make a gallon for $1.50 worth of distilled water. You can make $240 worth of colloidal silver water with this little box called a colloidal silver water generator. Let's do this. We can do this. get over here, colloidal, Colloidal, colloidal. There it is with a C. All right. Now, there it is, colloidal silver water generator. And the colloidal silver water generator is almost the cost of a quart of water, of the water. So why would you buy the water when you can buy the box that makes the water and it's guaranteed to last forever? The colloidal silver water generator box is guaranteed for life. It comes with the silver rods, which are food grade. It comes with all put together, ready to go right out of the box. And then you can be making colloidal silver water within 30 seconds of opening the package. And just all you need is distilled water. And you can make a gallon of colloidal silver water every 40 minutes worth $240. You can give it away free to your friends. But that's colloidal silver water. And I digressed, but I had to mention that because that's one of the greatest things against allergies and a lot of other health issues that people have, colloidal silver water. Okay, let's get back to our allergy report because we're coming to the end of the broadcast. There is an antiseptic sinus wash that gets rid of sinus problems. And it has colloidal silver water in it. It's made with colloidal silver water. And that's the reason why this is an antiseptic sinus wash that you can use with a neti cup or squirt a little bit at a time into your sinuses and snort it into your sinuses and get rid of a sinus infection. And a lot of time, teeth are the problem of allergies. So if you've got tooth infections, get your teeth fixed. That's right. Go to the teeth report and see how to reverse tooth decay and so forth in the teeth report. And that's it. That gives us a lot of information about angioedema and against all allergies and all the information that evil people don't want you to know. That's right. Evil people do not want you to know this. I know it because they beat up on me for trying to get you this information. They made it what they thought would be impossible. But I don't quit. And I can take a lot of punishment. So that's it. Let's get over to the room and let's get up to Prophet Dr. Elijah, a naturopathic doctor, a minister, a prophet out there in Pike Road, Alabama, at the Word of Life Ministry. And his telephone number is 334-868-3881. That's 334-868-3881. And that's for Prophet Elijah. Let's go over there and ask him to give us a closing prayer. Then let's that will remind me later. So that's his telephone number, 334-868-3881. And let's go over and then at the end of the broadcast, after this closing prayer, we will open up all of the microphones on dial pad, and we can all praise the Most High together. Prophet Elijah, are you there, my brother?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm here.
Whew. We talked about allergies today, didn't we?
Oh, yes, we did. Yes, we did.
Yes, sir. Do you have any comments before we go to a closing prayer, sir?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yes, you did a thorough job of putting the information out for everyone who have ears to hear that want to go ahead and take it for their own personal need and become a witness and a testimony to other people.
All praises to the Most High.
Yes, sir. Ready for the prayer?
I'm more than ready. You know me. I'm always ready for that prayer. Please, sir, please.
Yes, sir, that's
listen to
it.
that. Okay.
Ephesians 4:31-32. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice, and be kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as the Most High God, for Christ's sake, has forgiven you. Most High God, we come before you today, letting go of any resentment and bitterness in our life. Heavenly Father, life here on this earth can seem unjust and unfair. The pain of rejection is almost more than one can bear. Any past relationships that have ended in strife, anger, rejection, resentment, and bitterness, Father, help us to let go. You are the one who binds up and heals the broken heart. We receive your anointing that breaks and destroys every yoke of bondage in our life. We receive emotional healing by faith according to your word, Isaiah 53:5. And with his stripes, we are healed. We thank you for giving us the grace to stand firm until this process of divine healing is complete. We acknowledge and thank you for our wise counselor, the Holy Spirit, for it is you, Father, who works in us to do your will and to act according to your good purpose. In the name of Jesus, we get rid of all that binds us with the yoke of oppression and depression. We will watch and pray at all times, not only for ourselves, but also for others, so that a blessing will come upon us and the ones that we are praying for. Most High God, I ask you now to release your healing virtue, your miracle virtue into the body of your sons and daughters. Jesus, release your healing anointing, your miracle anointing into our bodies from the top of our head to the sole of our feet. I ask you to make us whole, restore every part of our body and make it whole once again in the way you created us. Heavenly Father, I apply the blood over every part of the body to protect it from any disease or infection. Father, I ask you to fill us now with your Holy Spirit, and that you place a hedge of protection around us in the name of Jesus, so be it. Dr. Berst, the Most High promised to bless you in his word. As you have given, it will be given back to you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. I am that I am will make all grace abound toward you in every favor and earthly blessing, so that you will have all sufficiency for all things, and that you are bound to every good work. I decree that you are blessed coming in, blessed going out. When you lay down, you rise up. Great blessings come to your finances, in your health, and in your relationships. May they overtake you in all areas of your life. Believe by faith and receive them. The blessing of the Most High makes you truly rich. He adds no sorrow with it, neither does toil increases it. The Father rebukes the devourer for your sake, and no weapon that is formed against you will prosper. By my faith in Jesus Christ, I declare that all obstacles and hindrances to your prosperity are now dissolved. The Most High is your shepherd, and you will do what he wants, and you do not want. Jesus came that you might have life and have it more abundantly. So be it. Now, were you blessed by Discovery and Health Ministry once again tonight? If so, tell someone you know who may be blessed also. Let's Dr. Berst in return. Pray about sowing into this ministry so that Dr. Berst may be able to keep offering this information free to many. Be ever so kind to let Dr. Berst know that his time is not used in vain. Show him your appreciation for all that he does, whether it is in word or financial support. A workman is worthy of his hire, which is 2 hours of his time each week. Bless him, and you shall be blessed in return. So be it.
All praises to the Most High. So be it. Thank you so much, Prophet Elijah. And we'll be talking with you again next week. And let's go and open up the microphones so that we can all praise the Most High together. And I hope to see you and hear from you again next week. All the microphones are now open. All praises to the Most High, brothers and sisters. All praises.
All praises to the Most High. Shalom. All praises to the Most High. God bless.
Thank you, Dr. Truman.
Thank you. Thank you.
Praise the Lord.
prosperity, fashion, and you all.
Come on. Oh my goodness. And then somebody's on that. Okay. Stop. Mhm.